Hello, guys. So I've been getting a lot of messages lately from people who believe that they're dating an avoidant person. And a common theme that I'm seeing in a lot of people's messages and stories that they're sharing with me is the person that they believe is avoidant keeps saying that they're very busy with work. And that's part of that person not meeting up with them, making plans with them. It seems like they're not interested in seeing you again, maybe if you hung out a few times. And that's coinciding with them saying that they're very busy with work. So I want to talk about 4 things that could be at play when someone who could be avoidant is saying that they are just so busy with work. Also, be sure to watch until the end because I will be sharing some advice if you are dealing with an avoidant person and they are avoiding tough conversations and they are using work as an excuse. Real quickly, if you're brand new here, my name is Wanda. Welcome to my channel, Confessions of an Avoidant, someone who has avoidant attachment patterns. I love talking about this topic all day, every day, so be sure to subscribe if that interests you. And before I jump into the video, just want to say one thing that I'm going to start saying in all my videos now. Attachment, it's on a spectrum for every single attachment style, even secure attachment. So just like how not all anxious attached people are that extreme version of someone who, is putting spyware on their phones, on their partner's phone because they're so scared of being abandoned and paranoid that that person's talking to other people, and they resort to that level of dealing with their anxious attachment wounds. Not all avoidant people are whatever extreme version that you might be having as a stereotype in your head. So I would greatly appreciate it if you can keep that in mind if you are going to leave a comment. Okay. And by the way, most of you guys aren't doing this. Most of you are very, critical thinking, objective, mature people. But some of you could regulate your emotions better. Okay, so the first thing that could be going on is it could be true. And you're dealing with an avoidant person who is very busy or overwhelmed by work, or they're stressed out by it, and they don't have a lot of emotional bandwidth left outside of work sometimes to give to someone else that wants their attention, affection, quality time, companionship, all of those things. I think a lot of anxiously attached people who maybe are having a stressful week at work or a very tiresome week at work, after work, they might want to soothe and regulate with companionship and being around someone else that they care about. And secure people are like this too, with a lot of avoidant people, not all, but plenty of avoidant people who might be using this, I'm just so busy with work. They might want to just self-soothe when they're feeling very exhausted or tired by work. I know I'm that way for sure. And I think this is something that's easier to notice and something that could even help noticing a pattern of having an avoidant partner. When you have a more serious relationship, there's commitment involved, the relationship has been going on for a while, you might start noticing this as a pattern. And I do want to say as well, a lot of people who get into learning about attachment think that it's just something that applies to your romantic life. Your attachment style applies to many areas of your life, including work. It's very, very fascinating. So I'm going to link to a bunch of research and websites about this topic. But yeah, a lot of avoidant people, we can have this kind of a lone wolf way of going about our lives. And we can feel like we like to have autonomy over ourselves, over our time, over what we're doing. And work is one of those situations where we as people have to relinquish that autonomy. Someone else is essentially kind of dictating the environment, the culture, the boundaries, the values, the communication style. They're dictating all of those things in our day when we go to a job. And so as an avoidant people, we can feel like we don't have control over the boundaries that we like to have over ourselves and around ourselves to kind of dictate our day and direct it the way we like to direct it in our lone wolf way of operating. And we all know this. When you have a job, you kind of have to acclimatize and assimilate into that work environment. And there's just so many things that go along in the workplace that are just triggering your subconscious need to just be a lone wolf and kind of do your own thing. You just can't do that in the workplace. And then when you're feeling very overwhelmed by your job or stressed out, not for all avoidants, but for some of us, again, I'm one of them. After work, we're not like dying to be around another human being. Like we're like, oh, I was just around other people all day. And it's exhausting and annoying. And all I want to do right now is be by myself. So, that could be actually what's going on. It might not be an excuse. And a lot of research about avoidant attachment shows that in numerous areas of their life, including the workplace, we are people who can use a lot of emotional repression, where we kind of push how we really feel about things down and don't tap into it, which is why I think a lot of people think avoidant people have no feelings. When we have feelings, we just have a lot of repressed feelings, and we suppress our feelings a lot. We don't acknowledge our feelings. And sometimes when work is done, we can just feel like, oh my God, I can just be myself. I don't have to live a lie of pretending I'm happy in these meetings and submitting to their boundaries and needs over mine and all those things that going to work requires. You have to be a team player. That can be hard when you're a lone wolf. Whereas other attachment styles, when the workday is done, it's almost like some of them just can't wait to meet up with that person that they are, crazy about in their life and open up a beer and be around the energy of someone where they just feel a lot of comfort and companionship. And not all avoidants are feeling that. The second thing that could be happening with someone who's giving this excuse to you a lot is it could just be an excuse because they don't want to meet up with you. They don't want to hang out with you. And they feel really uncomfortable breaking that news to you. And they feel like, well, if I just keep saying I'm busy with work, then maybe this other person will take the hint that I'm just not really interested in them. I'm not reciprocating their interest in me, to hang out with me, to make plans with me, to have them in my life the way they want me in their life. I talked about this in the last video that I made. This isn't an avoidant thing. It's not an asshole thing. It's not a narcissist thing. It's not a douchebag thing. A lot of people in life just don't have the training for how to deal with a situation of when someone likes you way more than you like them, and they just keep showing up trying to spend time with you, hang out with you. And I have a theory that a lot of people have a freeze response of being nice because they feel so uncomfortable, like communicating something that they know is going to hurt somebody. Who wants to do that? And so they feel like the nice thing to do is just say I'm busy with work. And that person then doesn't have to deal with the discomfort of having to hurt someone or feel like they have to be in the awkward situation of almost hurting themselves by feeling like it's their responsibility to be in that awkward position of communicating something they don't feel like communicating because someone else isn't taking a hint. Someone else isn't noticing a pattern of that person not wanting to be around them, spend time with them, make plans with them. People of all personality types, introverts, extroverts, will find themselves doing this. I'm sure anxiously attached people can all think of a situation where someone kept pursuing you or wanting to be around you or want to make plans with you or whatever, and you just didn't like that person and you felt awkward because in your opinion it was obvious that you're not reciprocating that person's interest and they're just not getting it. I also have seen this a lot in people who are in long distance situationships where someone, one of the people is just not making plans to meet that person in real life. And I always say, long distance relationships are like the wild, wild west because they don't have a lot of rules. You can't really hold people accountable by observing them in person and recognizing those patterns of someone who wants to keep meeting up with you and making plans with you and all those things in the real world. So that's why it's like the wild, wild west. And one of the best ways that you can know that a long distance situationship, whatever, is really serious is if that person is moving heaven and earth to have you in their real life instead of coming up with every excuse to avoid you. And I know what it's like. I've had a long distance relationship that started off online. I moved to that person's country. We both saved money for half a year so that I could live in their country. Like, we really met online, fell in love online, did everything to be together in the real world and have a real, actual, tangible, physical relationship. So I just think, if you're in that kind of situation and the other person isn't really moving the needle or taking an interest in meeting you in real life, they don't care enough about the person that they're talking to transition that into a real world situation. The third thing that could be going on is, if you're really dealing with an avoidant person, you could be dealing with a very repressed avoidant person, which you'll probably notice more the deeper you get into dating someone like this. And so someone who's a very, very repressed avoidant person, very, very unaware of their feelings, they might be feeling exhausted or bogged down by a number of things in their life, including work. But because they're so repressed and they're so almost dissociated from what they are truly feeling most of the time, they might truly believe that the reason that they're so exhausted is just work. They might not be on that plane of being attuned to your feelings where they can even recognize all the things going on in their life that are kind of stressing them out and bogging them down and making them feeling exhausted and tired of showing up for other people. I think this can be, the trickiest type of avoidant person to deal with because they are just so out of touch with their emotions. And this is again why I say, all attachment styles, including avoidant attachment, is on a spectrum. I am not this type of avoidant. If I was, I probably wouldn't have a YouTube channel. So this, again, just something to keep in mind. Everything in life is a spectrum, everything. But yeah, I think this can be the trickiest type of avoidant person to deal with. In a lot of areas of their life, they're just going to be so out of touch with how they feel and so out of touch with what's really bothering them. And they're going to have a harder time really communicating what's really going on with them, because a lot of times they truly are so disconnected with what's really going on with them. I also think that a lot of the stereotypes I see about avoidance online are a stereotype of this type of avoidant. People think all avoidants are this repressed, so out of touch. Yeah, it's definitely frustrating when you're dating a super repressed avoidant. My ex was a very, very repressed avoidant in a lot of ways. So even I, as an avoidant, know how frustrating someone who has very, very repressed emotions. I know how annoying that is. So yeah, good luck if that's the type of avoidant that you're dealing with. The fourth thing that could be going on is you could be dealing with a very non-confrontational avoidant person. So this is someone who they know certain things that are frustrating them, maybe about their relationship, maybe about their partner. And because they're so non-confrontational and they struggle to say what they're really thinking or hurt someone's feelings or have tough conversations, saying that they're busy with work could truly just be their excuse that they're consciously aware of to avoid having to deal with tough conversations in a relationship. And of course, they can truly be stressed out from work amongst a number of things, but it's just a low-hanging fruit excuse to avoid having tougher conversations. Okay, so what is something that you can do if you're dealing with an avoidant person who you can sense is holding back, having tougher conversations, maybe spending more time with you, and you feel like they're using this "I'm busy with work" as a crutch? I think one of the best things that you can do with an avoidant person is just be reassuring that you are a safe place, safe space, that they can talk to you about anything. Sometimes it helps for you if you open up without even expecting them to open up in return. I feel like that's something that's really helped me in my life with certain people that I've dated. When they were vulnerable or when they opened up and they weren't kind of trying to pull anything out of me, that often helped me to feel like, okay, I feel safe with this person and they're kind of leading by example. So maybe you can open up about your day or something frustrating you with your boss, and that can maybe trigger them to feel like, oh, that's a cue for them to open up as well. And if you're dealing with someone who you feel like is pulling away or holding back and spending more time with you, whether because they truly feel overwhelmed by work or they're just saying that and maybe you won't truly know. But again, one of the best things you can do is just reassure them that you are a safe space. So you can say just something reassuring like, hey, babe, I know you're really busy with work and you're stressed out, and there's no problem with that. I just want to make sure that you always know that you can talk to me about anything. So not necessarily pushing them to be like, so you can talk to me about anything. So, what is it? What's going on? Maybe leave out the like, what's going on in the prying aspect of it. Like remove the prying, but just keep the, so yeah, you can talk to me about anything. And they'll take the hint the more you kind of don't pry and the more you just reassure them. And they'll kind of pick up on, okay, I feel safe with this person. They're not prying. They're not forcing anything. They're not trying to fix me or change me. And that really goes a long way when they feel like you're just kind of accepting them and letting them do their little lone wolf thing. So I hope that this video shined some light on this topic. And if you have any other video suggestions, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.